While the internet is already awash with who could play doomed journalist Eddie Brock, the Venomverse also opens up an even darker side of Spider-Man. Fans of Marvel will know that Venom isn't the only symbiote specimen in the comic books. There's also the Carnage symbiote, Venom's even more brutal offspring. It won't be easy to portray Carnage and live up to the expectations of the fans. Don't forget, we have an entire channel full of awesome videos to see. Hit subscribe now to stay up to date on all the content CBR has to offer.
Who is Batman?
I'm Batman.
Jim Carrey. To get the list off to a controversial start, the name Jim Carrey has been circling Kasady for as long as there has been fan casting. The rumor picked up steam when a Twitter user posted an image close to the location for the Ravencroft Institute when filming Amazing Spider-Man 2. Since then, it's been hard to shake the image of Carrey as Carnage out of anyone's head. Carrey's casting as Carnage could be a master stroke. Bubbling underneath his comedic performances, there has always been an edge of madness. Look at him in I Love You, Philip Morris. This was a part where he played a calculating lunatic. He also played a psychotic serial killer in Number 23. Sure, he was once a lackluster Riddler, but the ghosts of Soup's past shouldn't haunt Jim. Plus, he did a bang-up job as Colonel Stars and Stripes in the Kick-Ass movies. Keaton is approaching a return to superheroes after Batman for Spider-Man Homecoming, so why should one little foray into the world of capes and catastrophe put you off? Beneath his goofy and ridiculous demeanor of his other roles in films, he's actually a very talented actor. If you let Carrey sink in long enough, you know it makes sense.
You know why they call him that?
Enlighten us.
Because he likes to eat the flesh of his enemies.
Michael Mando. Keeping it in the Breaking Bad family, could Nacho suit up as the symbiote? It has already been rumored that Mando's unspecified role in Spider-Man Homecoming could lead him to playing Carnage, an idea that doesn't sound half bad. The Better Call Saul Twitter account tweeted the message, "Michael Mando is spectacular at bringing Carnage to life in Better Call Saul, causing fandom to go into meltdown." Known for his parts in the likes of sci-fi thriller Orphan Black and Canada's Le Bleu de Ramville, Mando is an expert at playing a bad guy. His characterization was on point as drug dealer Vic on Orphan Black. However, he's currently ruling the roost on Breaking Bad spin-off. As Ignacio Nacho Varga, Mando manages to shine in Gilligan's world of colorful villains. Elsewhere, his villainous voice made him the twisted antagonist Vaz Montenegro in 2012's Far Cry 3, a part he reprised for the web series The Far Cry Experience. It is the role of the mohawked maniac, Montenegro, that shows just how versatile Mando is. Playing Carnage would be a walk in the park for him. And hey, since we already know his voice acting is on point, if he's cast in the role of Carnage, he could even lend his voice to the new Spider-Man game coming out on PS4.
Knock on the door. They say, welcome home.
You don't know what'll happen.
I'm a wanted man.
Michael K. Williams. For all 5 seasons of HBO's prohibition thriller Boardwalk Empire, Michael K. Williams was nothing less than chilling as Albert Chalky White. The leader of the black contingent of Atlantic City, Chalky was a sinister leader who was more than meets the eye. Williams brought a slightly lovable side to the unlovable man, a perfect quality for portraying the damaged Kasady. However, Michael's best-known role is as Baltimore's Robin Hood, Omar Little, on The Wire, a part he got after only one audition. The part of Omar went on to become a fan favorite of the show and was frequently cited as one of the best elements of the TV show. In particular, the dry wit of Williams' portrayal is something that could easily transfer over to Carnage. Whether it's seen as a positive or negative, Williams is a serious method actor and actually becomes lost in the part of Little while filming The Wire. He referred to himself as Omar and started taking drugs. He might be on the older side of casting, but every part that the 50-year-old plays usually involves intimidation and scene stealing. You could easily imagine Williams as a scarred and deranged Kasady, lurking in the darkness of a cell, waiting for Brock.
If I just what? Left you in England in your castle? They have my wife.
Alexander Skarsgård. His brother Bill is currently scaring all those with coulrophobia over in the remake of Stephen King's It, so hopefully creepy serial killer performances run in the family. Elsewhere, Alexander's father Stellan Skarsgård is no stranger to Marvel movie properties. You may have seen him in Thor and The Avengers as Dr. Eric Selvig. For 7 years of True Blood, Alexander won us over as the Viking vampire sheriff Eric Northman and appeared in 74 of the 80 episodes. Skarsgård won a slew of awards for the role, but his career could have been very different, mainly mainly due to the fact that in 1989 he quit acting for 7 years. You may remember that Alexander had a very brief role as Meekus in Ben Stiller's Zoolander and returned for a different role in the sequel, as well as playing the lead in the strange Hasbro adaptation Battleship. He led us on a rumble in the jungle as Tarzan in the lackluster 2016 film The Legend of Tarzan. So how about a swap over to the side of villainy? We at least know he's willing to work hard for his talent, reportedly eating 7,000 calories a day to build up 25 pounds for the role as Tarzan. If you want a Kasady that can act but also has the looks, then search no further than the good Swedish genes of Skarsgård.
Yeah, I have a thought.
Yeah.
How about you give me and Man Mountain $750 each and send Uncle Fester there home? He's not carrying a gun. He's useless.
Stephen Ogg. Canadian Stephen Ogg is the man with the vocal talents who took on Trevor Phillips, the villainous lead protagonist of Grand Theft Auto V. The 43-year-old actor may be known more for his voice than his face, but all that has to change. With his yard brush mustache and imposing glare, he is the mad eyes of the perfect Kasady. Through voice and motion capture, his part as Trevor went on to become one of the great video game villains, nearly up there with the likes of Bowser and Ganondorf. Ogg was nominated for several awards for his portrayal and won the New York Video Games Critics Circle Award for Best Overall Acting in a Game. Despite being on the scene since 2000, Ogg has recently stepped more into the limelight of live action, including bit parts on Better Call Saul and a larger part in robotic romp Westworld. However, he's currently terrifying over in the zombie apocalypse on The Walking Dead. After premiering in the Season 6 finale, his role as the sinister Simon in Season 7 makes for an uncomfortable but uncompromising part. Ogg may not have been wielding his Grand Theft Auto baseball bat this time around, but he arguably plays a better villain than Jeffrey Dean Morgan's Big Bad Negan.
Do you think Sid would go out with me?
No, I don't at all.
Matthew Lillard. Scooby who? Matthew Lillard may be known as the goofball who played Shaggy in the live-action Scooby-Doo films, but others remember him for a very different part. As one half of the Two Killers twist in Wes Craven's Scream, Matthew Lillard flashed his psycho credentials as Joker Stu Macher. While a brilliant casting choice, it was actually a part he accidentally got by attending the audition alongside his then-girlfriend. Lillard's skill is that no one would expect him to play a bad guy. No one suspected Stu would be one of the film's killers in Scream after all. Sadly, we never got the original plan for Scream 3. This would have featured Stu having survived his first film death for a shocking return in the third part. Similar to Carrey, Lillard's improv skills make him a superb candidate to bring across the madness of Kasady. His infamous line when Skeet Ulrich hit him on the head with a phone in Scream was a spur-of-the-moment idea.
My mom and dad are gonna be so sad.
These days, Lillard still lends his voice to Shaggy Rogers in animated form. However, his real-life roles remain relatively limited. There have been sporadic episodes of Criminal Minds and The Good Wife, as well as another wacky part in the maligned 13 Ghosts. Excitedly, he has an unknown part in the highly anticipated Twin Peaks revival. But for the carnage of Carnage, just imagine an older version of Stu from Scream.
For a minute or two, it just got a few degrees too hot in the mixing kettle. I think I might have just cooked the color right out of it.
Jesse Plemons. We said it before and we will say it again, Jesse Plemons needs to be Carnage. He started acting at just 3.5 and starred in a Coca-Cola commercial. His big break was providing the comic relief in the first season of Friday Night Lights as Landry Clark. Some may know him for his TV work, but others remember Plemons as Kevin Weeks alongside Johnny Depp in the biographical crime film Black Mass. It was reported that Plemons was one of 4 actors considered for Star Wars The Force Awakens, a part that eventually went to John Boyega. While he dodged the world of George Lucas, his television career is slowly growing. He has appeared in the second season of FX's anthology show Fargo and kept the weight he gained for Black Mass. His resemblance to Matt Damon hasn't gone unnoticed, with fandom nicknaming Plemons Meth Damon thanks to his part in Breaking Bad. It is for Vince Gilligan's show that Plemons gave his most Carnage-worthy performance, portraying Todd Alquist in the final season. Promoted to a series regular for Season 5B, Alquist was truly unhinged in a show so packed with morally corrupt characters. Plemons' performance stuck out in an unnerving way.
Open your eyes and look at what you did!
Michael C. Hall. The career of Michael C. Hall started off Broadway in Macbeth and soon progressed to our screens. Many will recognize him as the closeted David Fisher from the superb 6 Feet Under, a role he portrayed throughout the run and was nominated for an Emmy. There was always something sinister about the mortician, and Hall took to the role with a morbid glee. As for feature films, he played the Maleficent company owner Ken Castle in 2009's Gamer. Plus, he's already dipped his toe into the superhero waters. Hall gave his voice to both Dr. Kirk Langstrom and Batman in the DCAU's Justice League Gods and Monsters in 2015. However, most know Hall as the blood splatter analyst and serial killer Dexter Morgan. For 8 seasons, Dexter kept us on edge of our seats with Hall's calm demeanor hidden under a smirk. Sure, the ending is one of the most maligned in TV history, but wrapping his victims in plastic for 7 years, Michael was a superb lead, rightfully earning his Golden Globe and SAG Award. Since Dexter wrapped in 2013, there have been persistent rumors of Hall returning for a spin-off show, but give him Carnage instead. Hall has the perfect acting skills to play a cold and calculated psychopath, bringing a more refined edge to Kasady.
And, Melissa?
Yeah?
Watch out for bears. Can't see him coming.
Will Poulter. When it comes to controversial castings, can anyone imagine the baby-faced Will Poulter as Carnage? While it may seem like an out-there choice, all you need to remember is that Poulter was once attached to play Pennywise in the remake of Stephen King's It. A literal jack of all trades, Poulter has done comedy with We're the Millers, action with the Maze Runner series, and a more serious role in The Revenant. After appearing in Son of Rambo and The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, it was We're the Millers that earned Poulter breakout star status, along with a slew of awards. Although he's yet to add horror to his resume, playing psychotic Cletus Kasady could be a great place to start. At the age of just 24, Poulter could give even the most established actors a run for their money. As one of Hollywood's rising stars, his upcoming projects include Netflix epic War Machine alongside Brad Pitt, Tilda Swinton, and ironically the previous Venom, Topher Grace. He will also return for a third Maze Runner film and Catherine Bigelow's untitled Detroit project. If you're going for a young version of Carnage, Poulter has to be up for consideration.
Well, quite the light show. Ain't this sweet?
Michael Roker. With a backwater Alabama twang and an imposing stature, Michael Roker would deliver a carnivorous Carnage if we've ever seen one. There's something about the villain roles that gravitate towards the 61-year-old, but that doesn't mean he can't sometimes play the good guy. Michael may be the eldest member of the list, but since when has age been a big deal? With his instantly recognizable voice, he's also loaned himself to several video games, most notably the Call of Duty series. Roker started out his long career when portraying serial killer Henry Lee Lucas in 1986's Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. With the part in the all-star Tombstone as the brother-in-arms to Sly and Cliffhanger, Roker made the move to action films. Nowadays, he makes up part of the Guardians of the Galaxy as the blue-skinned Yondu. Alongside Stephen Ogg, Roker has also joined the acclaimed The Walking Dead alumni as powerhouse Merle Dixon, one of the most ambiguous gray areas of the show. The character that had a redemption of sorts, but not before causing trouble for nearly every one of the main cast. Merle was somehow likable underneath his blatant racism and backward way of thinking. It always felt like Roker should have been on the show longer than just 14 episodes, while his brotherly love with Daryl was a highlight of the show's early years.
Don't you worry about Mr. Quill. As soon as we get him back here, I'm gonna kill him myself.
So who else do you guys think would be perfect to play Carnage? Let us know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to CBR to catch more videos on comic books, movies, TV shows, and more. Thanks for watching.